I guess when you gotta share your story, it's always where do I start? But I always start just like I'm coaching because what I do right now for a living is I coach, I train, and I mentor athletes of all ages. And one of the things that I ask kids before I take them on as clients is I need you to trust my heart. Because if you can't trust my heart, you can't trust my plan. And that has been my story and my walk with God. Is some of us, we have to ask ourselves, do I trust God's heart for me? Because it's easy to say I trust his plan, correct? It's easy. I trust his plan, but do I trust his heart? And I always go back to when I was in youth sports, my coach, everybody here has done a plank before, right? And if you don't got an eye on that watch, you can feel that pain, right? But if you understand and you love your coach and you love your teammates, I will endure this pain because I understand the gift that's going to come out on the other side. Whether it be connecting with the community or or my teammates or the coach being proud of us, you will endure that pain for your teammates. So that's my intention today, is to kind of walk and talk about community, kind of talk about the process. I was born in a small town in Kansas, a very small town in Kansas. And basketball to me, I wasn't really like that serious about it. But I was the only boy in my family, and that was my way of connecting with your other young men and finding a brotherhood, to say the least. So that became my outlet. That became something to keep me from going down the wrong path. And I noticed, as anybody that played sports, I noticed how people started looking at me different the more as I got better at the sport, right? Instead of we got him, it's we got Damien, right? Like it's now you got a name. Now it's people calling you to come work out. But I went from that to I'm gonna try not to speed through this. I went from that to my mom moved out here to Minnesota, and at 14, I was pretty much I stayed in Kansas, and I moved in with my high school coach. So here I am now. My family's in Minnesota. I'm living in Kansas, and I'm starting to take basketball serious, but I'm not taking school serious. I don't have the structure I don't have the system in place to actually have a dream, but I have a huge dream. So, 9th grade year, not eligible. 10th grade year, not eligible. Junior year, not even close to eligible. And I remember a couple of my cousins telling me, if you're really serious about this, you can't just focus about basketball. So, senior year, I actually get the grades ready. And I actually prepare, and I kind of add some discipline to my life. And I end up being all-state, averaging, it was just the craziest numbers. But what happened at that time was it created a lot of resentment and jealousy out of the parent, because his son played on the same team. So he kicked me out the house. So at this time, I'm a senior in high school, homeless. So the college coach at the JUCO says, hey, I can't have, I don't know what you plan on doing. I don't have the grades, and not even thinking about an ACT. He says, come live with us. You can take your GED, you can finish. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm this, I don't know if you know about JUCO basketball. It is last chance you, where you are it. But looking back, it was the first time I've had a man instill discipline in me, instill consistency, and instill he had a very strong voice and a very strong presence. And I absolutely, at that age, hated it. So I quit. Of course, like any young man that doesn't have structure, I'm seeking my own structure. So I ended up coming back to Minnesota, running from something I thought I loved and wanted and prayed for. But it was too much pressure, too much weight. How dare God give me something I always wanted, right? That's the young man. How dare you? So I removed myself. Came up to Minnesota. And then all of a sudden it became, this is actually the craziest, I don't even know if I didn't bring this up last. They said I had a heart problem. And my grandma at the time, I don't know if you remember me, my grandma's probably this big. She, when I went to get my physical, because I was going to go to Vermilion, they said you have a heart problem. So I'm like, man, they was like, yeah, we can't clear you. My grandma said, who said that? The doctor. She said, oh, I serve Jesus Christ. She prayed. There was no longer a heart problem. It was actually the craziest story ever. So I ended up getting cleared, and I'm calling every coach because my grandma was like, well, now what you gonna do with this? This opportunity. So I'm calling every coach all around, like, man, I just need an opportunity. I just need a chance. Just give me, So I go from having the gift to now begging for the gift because I didn't cherish it and I didn't know how to hold it. I didn't have the structure. I didn't have the stability. Now I'm searching for it again. So my cousin out of nowhere, out of left field, calls me and says, hey, come down to Labette, Kansas. We got an opportunity for you. I get there. I'm about 19 at the time. The next youngest guy on my team is 22 years old. Couple had just got out of prison. Couple had just got out of boys' homes, but it was, some of them were McDonald's All-American that got falsely acquitted, or they got acquitted of rape charges in high school that the coach would call. He would actually call jails to get the kids released. Now, this is a very interesting part because at this time, I'm thinking, like, well, everybody around me is like, man, you don't need to be around them dudes. But these dudes took care of me in a way that I can't even imagine. If I was not in the gym, they would call coach and be like, hey, like, oh, if there was girls around, get away from here. You don't need to be around us. Like, the way they protected my dreams was unlike any other situation I've ever been in. So, how they were perceived was different than how they treated me, right? They were like very loving, very caring, and like always willing to, it kind of reminded me of 2 Timothy. It's like they would go directly to me and tell me when there was a problem. There was no there was no somebody on it. It was, hey, I heard you go to class today, right? They directly chastised me and made me hold myself accountable, which was unbelievable. So I ended up being freshman of the year, all conference, and Joseph Eisen from Baltimore ended up telling me, I remember this, he was 23 at the time, and actually he was headed to Robert Morris, is that the school? I think it's Robert Morris. And he said, man, what's your biggest fear? And I was like, going back to Cali, because that was a JUCO that I was at, Cali County Community College. I was like, it's just too much, man, like too much structure, too much repetition, like too much for me at the time. He said, I think you should go back. And I was like, so I ended up going back and facing that younger version of me, where failure was still waiting at that doorstep, where I had to look it in his eyes. And it taught me a lot about Jesus Christ. Because like, there was a time that I thought, like, just like a lot of us listening upstairs, like I thought God forgot about me. But what I learned was he was forming me. He didn't forget me, he was forming me. That's a big difference. And if you're willing to sit still and stay strong in that forming or that waiting for a call or waiting for that injury or waiting to be noticed, like, it's powerful. So, I still have daddy issues at this point. When I go back, I don't know if I brought that up. I'm the only boy in a house full of women. Sports was my get away from these girls outlet. So I still have some wounds when I go back. So me and the coach, we are fighting with each other every day, every practice. We are fighting for inches. But I could tell, I mean, this taught me a lot about father. He looked me in the eyes and he said, I'm not going to let this little boy beat you. Every day. Because I tried to find every back door possible. If it was a run, I'm not touching the line. If I had to tuck my jersey in, I'm going to hide it and pull a little bit out on the back. If I got to have my socks, because he was very militant. If the socks had to be, shorts had to be here, and I'm just like, I'll pull my shorts down. Hey, we all run until, and he would never call me by my name until I actually graduated. I just thought about that. Have a really good year at Cali, All-American, and at the time, I don't know if y'all remember Butler. Butler was really good at the time with Brad Stevenson and but Fred Lickliger was a coach. He actually ended up going to Iowa. So at that time when he went to Iowa, he brings me in. Brad Stevens is the new coach, and I'm like, this dude looks 12. Like, I'm not going there. Not knowing him. Not because, like, just the way he was very polished, probably like a Shire. Just like you can tell and there's something about him. But at the time, I was looking for somebody kind of like my coach I just went to. Like, I have a lot of uncut edges that I need to be sharpened, so I need somebody that's willing to fight what I want to fight. So I end up committing to Butler, but I end up going downstairs to tell my coach at the time during the recruiting process. And I used to just go in his office, kick my feet up just to get on his nerves. And I remember seeing an email. Now looking back, it makes more sense, but he was, the coach at Butler was going to send him a big that he wanted to kind of develop. And to me, it hit an insecurity that I was being negotiated. So what I did is I went to my girlfriend at the time and said, I'm not going there. And she was like, where you gonna go? She played on the girls team, and I'm just a young man searching for love, of course. I haven't endured it. She's like, I'm going to West Texas A&M. And I'm like, where is that? Canyon, Texas. I said, I'm gonna call the coach. So I called the coach. Hey, coach, Damien Lawler. Damien Lawler? Yeah, I want to go there. Who is this? Stop playing on my phone. No, this is really me, coach. Are you serious? I hear him ruffle and tell his staff to come in. He said, are you serious? I said, yes. He said, my coach will be, he's getting on the road right now with the scholarship. He's on his way. So the coach from that call drove 10 hours to bring me the scholarship because he didn't believe me at first. And he's like, and on the way back, he told me that we didn't even have the money. We had to call boosters on the ride there and figure it out. But at the time, I was just like I was really high ranked at the JUCO level. So I ended up going to West Texas, becoming a All-American, Player of the Year for 2 years. But I'm still struggling internally. Still struggling. And you know, the crazy part that a lot of young people, when you go from, I don't need to introduce myself to, hey, pick me in this world, it's a very humbling experience, right? Back in those days, believe it or not, my name would beat me to places. Now I gotta beat people to get to places, right? So that happened. I end up, of course, self-sabotaging because now I'm picking at my coach there. I'm picking at my teammates there. I've always been an ultra competitor, right? I've never been, at the time, I never was somebody who could understand you not getting up early and working hard. I could never understand your injuries. I could never understand your trauma because I never asked people to understand mine. That was a weakness I had. Because like men grow through connection. Whether it be God or whether it be each other, it's like our connection builds growth, and that growth builds the community. So as I finished college, of course I'm not thinking about graduating. Now, the first team, I have an agent, and I tell him the first job that comes up, it was in Colombia for $5,000 a month. I was like, hey, school, there was 3 months left of school, I was out. Let me get that money. I don't care about this. I don't even know what 1 + 1 is. I don't care, right? Just give me some money. So I start searching for financial gain instead of a development piece, and it's like the love of the game now becomes a burden. Workouts seem like I gotta fight when it used to be something I love. Stretching now is like pulling teeth, right? Everything, the weight in the off season, it seems like 3 years, right? Because everybody's asking you, what are you doing? Where are you going? It's like, man, if I knew, I would tell you. So it just became this, my focus shifted. So I ended up in the NBA D-League, long story short, after going all the way around the world, and we go to training camp with the Nuggets. I don't know if I got to tell this part of the story. And at this time, they're trying to ship Melo to NY, New York. So JR had a whole summer of problems. J.R. Smith, I gotta say full name. So we play the same exact position, and he knows from the D-League that they about to. So him and his brother come from New York to the open workout, and we get in a big fight. He tears my rotator cuff, my labrum. It was so many ligaments that now, and I had just spent I went to IMG for a whole summer. If you know what IMG is, that is some money. So I was really invested in this year because this is the first time that preparation has finally met opportunity, and I'm ready for this. Because I feel like I'm ready, but I don't have any sustenance underneath. There's no faith there. I do have a very praying grandma and mother, but other than that, grandpa too is a pastor. Now, I've tore everything up, and all the phone calls I've ignored, I have to now go back and face these people. So now I have to go back to Kansas, where I haven't been in 6 years, and deal with this struggle. It wasn't just the shoulder, it was my heart, it was my spirit, it was everything was on the lowest level that it could be. And all I needed was people to just surround me and pray and push. But at the time, I had burned those bridges. So my sister had seen me, and she said, hey, you're moving to Minnesota. And I said, absolutely not. Like, no way. She said, just give it a week. And I was like, okay. So I come out here to Minnesota, and 5 minutes. All right, I'm gonna finish this up quick. I come up here to Minnesota, and LA Fitness at the time in St. Paul. This is how everything comes together. God, me reconnecting with my mentor. I go to LA Fitness, and at the time, I don't even want to touch a basketball because I'm actually going through a lawsuit with the Nuggets and J.R. Smith to kind of figure out all that stuff. And I hate basketball at the time. I absolutely hate it. don't even look at it. So I started playing football. That's how crazy it was. And I'm like, I'm playing semi-pro football, and I'm going to LA Fitness, and I meet this young lady. She's probably like 17, and she tells me she wants to play basketball. And I'm like, okay. So I'm watching her shoot, and she's like, I was like, where'd you play high school? She's like, Farmington or whatever it was. And she's like, I played hockey all through high school, but I want to play college basketball. I'm like, it don't work like that, right? It don't work like that. But I was like, if you show up every day, I got you. If you show up. Week 1, she's showing up, we're training, all of a sudden I can feel myself changing through her. Right? I can feel, because once you start to serve, Jesus kind of fills that heart, and all of a sudden you become something powerful. I'm getting up early, I'm recording her workouts, I'm checking her footwork, and week 1 we cover a lot of ground. A month in, we cover a lot of ground. 2 months in, I say, hey, I'm gonna call my coach at my school because I think you can play. I called my coach, hey, I got a girl, I don't know, but I think she can play, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. He says, Damien, where you been? Don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. So, I tell him, man, I think you should take a look at her. He said, hey, you know what? I actually have some time. I'll come down there next week. I'll look at flights. I said, hey, I used the juice tactic back there. Hey, I'm going to call some other coaches. I just want to let you know. He says, you sure she can play? Because I trust you. I said, yeah, coach, I got you. He said, I'm going to fax over her scholarship. Welcome to West Texas. She ends up going there. She's an All-American. She's playing pro now, actually. And that, I used to always say I'm not a trainer. Kids just show up and all of a sudden I'm training them. And that became my business. It's just through service. I met my mentor, who's a pastor. He's in Texas, or he'd have been here. And him and his wife poured into me so much. We used to have Bible studies at 8 p.m. till about 2 a.m. I'm talking about, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday for 3 years straight. And it was intense. But I say all of this, man, that I know as men, life can get extremely it can get hard. But if you understand that all things work for the good, all things, even if you don't understand it, I always like to tell the people I train is man, we have a basement view. God has the penthouse. And if we can align with him, we'll get a better understanding. And I pray that alignment for everybody. I think that's about it.
So good, man. Thank you, Damien.
Yeah.